English. Kindly open your textbooks. English Kumar Bharati, Standard 9, page number 100. Unit 4.4, My Financial Career. The author of this unit 4.4 is Stephen Leacock. I'll give you a brief introduction of the author. Stephen Butler Leacock. He's a Canadian, he was a Canadian teacher, political scientist, writer, and humorist. Between the years 1915 and 1925, he was the best known English speaking humorist in the world. He is known for his light humor, along with criticisms of people's follies. Let's start with the warming up session, page number 100. Now, when we listen to the topic, my financial career, when we hear about the word career, what does it come in your mind? Financial and career. That means something related to money. When you grow up, even you will have a financial career. So now let's see what in this chapter we are going to learn about our financial career. Now, first one, warming up. When you open a savings account at a bank, you need to fill up deposit forms or slips. Observe the following forms and fill up your details. Now you're quite grown up enough, you should know how to fill in the paying slips of the bank. When you go to help someone, your parents or your relatives, or some senior citizens who won't be able to write the slips, so you need to help them. So how will you help them if you don't have the information? So this chapter gives you the proper information how to fill in the deposit forms. For example, if you want to deposit some cash, or you want to deposit a check in somebody's account, or maybe it is your own account, because nowadays that all the children have opened their account, their saving account in some particular bank. Now see this form, it is available in all the banks. Okay, now for example, this is your own account, or maybe it is somebody in your house. So the things that you need to fill in the deposit slips are, first thing is the name of the branch, that account belongs to which branch. Then the date. The date is the one that you're going to fill the check in the bank, on which date, the specific date. Okay, either the check or the cash. Then you have to fill in the name in the credit off, or the credit off. If it is your own account, you need to write your own account, or the name of the account holder. Then the very important thing, the account number. Then after that, there is drawn on bank. Now, if it is a check, you need to write the name of the bank on which it is drawn. Okay, means it is from which bank. Now here in this example, they have written State Bank of India. Okay, then the branch, like now this branch is from which that check is. Okay, the check which you're going to deposit. Then the check number, you will find it below the check, the first number that appears. Then it is cash or notes. Now, if it is cash, if it is not a check, so if you're depositing some cash, it will be in some denominations, either in the notes of 2000 or 500 or 100, then 50, 20, 10, or even there can be some points. Okay. So now it depends the amount that you're going to deposit. Now here they have mentioned number 1 into 2000. That means 2000. That means one note of 2000, and there are 4 notes of 500 rupees. So that is again 2000. So total it rounds up at 4000. So then you have to write in words, okay, 4000 only. Then below you have cashier, scroll, officer. Now this is not your work. This part of the work will be handled by the bank. The next is deposited by signature. You need to put in your signature. The person who's going to deposit, you have to put in that person's signature. Okay. I hope you have understood till here. Let's move on. Then below you have the contact details. In the contact details, you have to mention your address, your telephone number. Okay. Your telephone number can be either your office number or your mobile number. Okay. And nowadays, email address is quite important. So you have to mention your email address. So this is how you fill in the cash deposit slips. okay, or the deposit slip or the form. It's very easy, and you should try one. You should try to help out your uh, relatives or your parents who may be busy and they don't have time. So you can fill in the slips and you can help them out in this manner. Okay. Now let's move on. The warming up exercise, second part two, that is write in your own words. Now, see, we have filled in so many information, so much details. Now, what is the first question? Why does the bank need so many details of its customers? Now, while filling in the slip, you feel why the bank wants so many details. So it is really very important. The bank needs so many details of its customer to avoid fraudulent transactions and safeguard their accounts. Banks ask questions to its customers on different matters because they want to know them and their life situation so that they can provide good advice and offer banking services suited to the needs of its customers through Know Your Customer, that is the KYC. Banks get information from customers so that they can support banks against crime and bear their share of social responsibility. So it's a type of a social work that bank is doing. When they ask us so much information, they try to check like the money does not go into wrong hands. It should go in the account of the account holder itself. Okay. So this was your first question. Now the second one, what problems do customers face when they have to make a cash deposit at a bank? Nowadays, now see, we are in the lockdown phase and mostly everything goes online. So if you have to deposit cash in the bank, what is the problem? What are the problems that the customers face? Some of the problems that customers have to face when they have to make a cash deposit at a bank are that there is a long queue. So it consumes a lot of time. Knowledge of filling up the details of a form is a must, which is troublesome for illiterate people. Illiterate means people who are not educated. They don't know how to write. Now, the pay slip that we filled right now, that I've explained. Now, if you are educated, if you know to read and write, you will be able to do that. But imagine if it is a literate, if somebody is an illiterate person, he won't be able to write. Sometimes the bank server is down and not functioning, which can be a problem in depositing cash. Moreover, many banks will not let you deposit cash into an account which does not bear your name as an account holder. So these are the things that the customers face when they have to make cash deposit at a bank. Now let's move on to the next one. What are the latest modern methods of depositing money in your own or somebody else's account? Now, there are a lot of modern methods which have come about, to give some relief to the customers. So which are they? You should know about them. So some of the latest modern methods of depositing money in our own or somebody's account are ATM counters, withdraw cash at any automated teller machine. ATM is automated teller machine. The next is check and pay orders, like no need to carry cash because we have a this of we get scared like somebody may rob us. So it is better to carry a check or a pay order. Electronic fund transfers, directly we can transfer to somebody else's account. Standing order, you can give some standing order, some instructions to your bank account to pay the money. Then there is one more thing, SWIFT, that is international account transfer. Like, if you're a student and you are studying out of India, there is SWIFT where you can transfer international to your international account transfer. Then online banking, you have overdraft facility, you are banking through apps. Nowadays, we have different bank accounts who are having their apps on a, we can have take down the app on our mobile and we can do our banking transactions. So these were the things that nowadays these are the latest modern methods of depositing money in our account. Okay, let's move on. Now, question number 3 is make a word web of at least 12 words related to banking. Now, this is a very common question that appears in our question paper. So now, when we hear about banking, what are some of the words that come into your mind? Some of the words related to banking are as follows: balance. We need to check the balance. So balance is a word. Bank statement, borrower, cardholder, credit limit, depositor, interest, overdraft, passbook, savings, telebanking, pain slip, withdrawal, etc. There are so many words that come in our mind. I have just given a few of them. If you know any more words, you can write it down. Now let's begin with the chapter, My Financial Career. As I've already told you, the author is Stephen Leacock. Now, this is an experience shared by the author himself, how he faced, what was his experience that he faced in a bank when he had gone to a bank the first time. I'll just read this chapter to you. Please pay attention. Now we are on page number 101. When I go into a bank, I get rattled. The clerks rattle me, the wickets rattle me, the sight of the money rattles me, everything rattles me. Here rattles means the author, Stephen Leacock, he gets scared, he gets nervous when he goes to the bank. Maybe this is his first time. Now imagine your first day in school, or the the first attempt of any kind where you're always nervous. And as you know, in our life, we always have a first time and we are always nervous, but we try to overcome this weakness. Okay. The moment I cross the threshold of a bank, I am a hesitating J. If I attempt to transact business there, I become an irresponsible idiot. Now, this author, he is saying that he is a very bad person. He's irresponsible person when it comes through business. Okay. I knew this beforehand, but my salary had been raised to $50 a month. And I felt that the bank was the only place for it. Now, this person, author, he's working, and he had some hike in his salary of had been raised to $50, and now he finds that bank is the safest place for him to deposit his money. So I shambled in and looked timidly around at the clerks. I had an idea that a person about to open an account must need consult the manager. Now, this was his first time in the bank, and he knew that if he has to open an account over here, he has to meet the manager. I went up to a wicket marked accountant. Now, wicket means the barrier that are kept in front of all the different cubicles. The name is mentioned, like who that person is. The people who are working in the bank, they have different designations. So he went to a wicket, a barrier where it was marked accountant. The accountant was a tall, cool devil. Now, because this for his first experience in the bank, so he thinks, all the people to be some like his uh, some negative people, like, okay, so he describes him as a devil. The very sight of him rattled me. My voice was sepulchral. Can I see the manager? I said, and added solemnly, alone? I don't know why I said alone. Now, when he went to that barrier, to that wicket, that is the accountant, he asked him, he wanted to see the manager. But by mistake, he said he wants to see him alone. Certainly, said the accountant, and fetched him. The manager was a grave, calm man. I held my $56 clutched in a crumpled ball in my pocket. Now, he had that amount, the money that he wanted to deposit in his hand, and it was crumpled. Are you the manager? I said. God knows I didn't doubt it. Yes, he said. Can I see you? I asked. Alone? I didn't want to say alone again, but without it, the thing seemed self evident. Now, again, here the manager asked him like whether he wanted to meet him alone. The manager looked at me in some alarm. He felt that I had an awful secret to reveal. Now, when this person, like the author, Stephen Leacock, he was insisting that he wants to speak to the manager alone. Now, the manager was doubtful, like, why this person wants to meet me alone. So he said, come in here, he said, and led the way to a private room. He turned the key. Now, there was a separate room where the manager could meet his clients or the customers alone. So he took him over there. We are safe from interruption here, he said. Sit down. We both sat down and looked at one another. I found no voice to speak. You are you are one of Pinkerton's men, I presume, he said. Now the manager, because this person wanted to meet him alone, he thought that he's one of the detective. He's from a detective agency. Maybe he's some CID person or some detective person who's come to find out something. So manager asked him, "Are you from Pinkerton's men?" Turn your page number 102. He had gathered from my mysterious manner that I was a detective. I knew what he was thinking, and it made me worse. Now, the manager had an impression that this person is from some detective agency and he's come on some mission. No, not from Pinkertons, I said, seemingly to imply that I came from a rival agency. To tell the truth, I went on as if I had been prompted to lie about it. I am not a detective at all. I have come to open an account. I intend to keep all my money in this bank. Now, the author told the manager that no, he is not from Pinkerton, he is not from a detective agency, and no, he's from some other rival agency, some other competitive agency. But he's just come here to open a bank account, and he wants to deposit his money over here. The manager looked relieved, but still serious. He concluded now that I was a son of Baron Rothschild or a young Gold. Now, if he's not a detective and if he wants to, meet the manager alone, he wants to open an account. Now, what the manager thought, maybe he's a son of a rich person, like how we have Ambanis and Tatas in India. That way, maybe he's a child of a rich person and he's a lot of money that he wants to open an account and he wants to deposit over here. So now, again, there is some misunderstanding between the manager and the author. A large account, I suppose, he said. Means he thought, now this man who has come, he's going to open a big, large amount. He has a lot of money and he wants to deposit in the bank. Fairly large, I whispered. I propose to deposit $56 now and $50 a month regularly. Now imagine, he said he wants to deposit $56. Now, if you calculate $56 in Indian rupees, it will come around 4,000. That means he's come here in the bank to open a new account with an amount of 4,000. And what the manager is thinking, that he's some Tata Birla or, some Ambani, and he's having a lot of money and he wants to open an account. So, the manager was really surprised. The manager got up and opened the door. He called to the accountant. Mr. Montgomery, he said, unkindly loud, this gentleman is opening an account. He will deposit $56. Good morning, he said like that. Now, because the manager was really, a bit angry, and he said it, and he said in a very loud voice he called the accountant, because manager is also a busy person, and a customer feels that he's the most important person, so he wanted to speak to the manager alone. And now what the manager was under the impression that he's some big person, a big shot, and he's having a lot of money and he wants to open an account. But now when he came to know that he's just a common man and he just has some 4,000 rupees, that is $56, and he wants to open an account here. So he called the accountant and he just told him, just help him out. I rose. A big iron door stood open at the side of the room. Good morning, I said, and stepped into the safe. Come out, said the manager coldly and showed me the other way. Now the manager has gone, and now the accountant has come to, help him out. I went up to the accountant's wicket and poked the ball of money at him with a quick convulsive movement, as if I were doing on conjuring trick. My face was ghastly pale. Now, this person who had come to open the account, the author, he felt little nervous. Here, I said, deposit it. The tone of the words seemed to mean, let us do this painful thing while the fit is while the fit is on us. He took the money and gave it to another clerk. He made me write the sum on a slip and sign my name in a book. I no longer knew what I was doing. The bank swam before my eyes. Now, when when he went to the accountant's wicket, the cubicle, he said that this is the amount that I want to deposit. So now, what the accountant did, he gave him a slip to fill in the details, and he had to sign. Now, this again, because this was his first time, he felt little nervous. The author felt little nervous. Is it deposited? I asked in a hollow, vibrating voice. It is, said the accountant. Then I want to draw a check. Now, now this $56 amount is deposited, he said. So now what he's saying, now I want to draw a check. Now he's saying, I want a check and I want to withdraw my money. My idea was to draw out $6. Page number 103. My idea was to draw out $6 of it for present use. Now what he thought, this amount he will deposit $56, and from that $56, he will keep $50 in the bank, and $6 he will remove for for his daily use. Someone gave me a checkbook through a wicket, and someone else began telling me how to write it out. Now again, to write a check, this was his first time. So somebody in the bank, the clerk over there, gave him a checkbook and he explained him how to write the check. The people in the bank had the impression that I was an invalid millionaire. I wrote something on the check and thrust it at the clerk. He looked at me. He looked at it. Now what happened? He took the check. He wrote the amount he wanted to withdraw, and he gave it back to the clerk. As soon as he gave that check back to the clerk started looking at him. What? Are you drawing it all out again? He asked in surprise. Now, when he gave that check to the clerk is asking this person, that is Stephen Leacock, the author, what are you doing? Are you drawing that out like this? Just now you opened the account, just now you have deposited the money, and now you're drawing it out again. Then I realized that I had written 56 instead of 6. Now imagine, in his mind, he had thought that he will withdraw only $6. But by mistake, because he was scared, he was nervous. So what he did, by mistake on the check, he wrote $56. So that means the amount which he had deposited, that $56, that is the 4,000, on the check to withdraw, he wrote the same amount. That means on one hand, he's depositing the money, and on the other hand, he's removing all the money. He's withdrawing all the money from the account. And that is the reason the clerk is looking at him surprisingly, like just now you have deposited and now you are trying to withdraw. I was too far gone to reason now. I had a feeling that it was impossible to explain the thing. All the clerks had stopped writing to look at me. Now, everyone in the bank, imagine the situation. This boy who has gone to open an account, I mean, he's not a boy, he may be a man because he's working and he's drawing a salary. So he's gone for the first time. They don't know that he is nervous. They don't know that he doesn't know, and even they don't know that he has made a mistake. Now only Stephen Leacock knows that instead of writing 6, he has written 56. But now he doesn't want to show everyone that he has made a mistake because it will be an insult for him. And everyone is looking at him. Reckless with my misery, I made a plunge. Quickly he said, yes, the whole thing. Now he didn't want everyone to understand that he had made a mistake. So he's saying, yes, I want to withdraw all the money. You withdraw your money from the bank, every cent of it. Are you not going to deposit anymore? Said the clerk, astonished. Now, what the clerk is thinking, he has deposited the money, now he's withdrawing. Like, are you going to deposit any more money? Like, do you have any more money to deposit? Never. Now, so see what Stephen Leacock is saying, never. An idiot hope struck me that they might think something had insulted me while I was writing the check, and that I had changed my mind. I made a wretched attempt to look like a man with a fearfully quick temper. Now he's acting over here like he's making the people over there, the clerk or the people working in the bank, that something happened and he's angry now on the people working in the bank. Maybe they have insulted him, and now he's angry and he wants to he doesn't want to like keep any money in this bank, and he's angry and he wants to withdraw all the money. The clerk prepared to pay the money. Now the bank people, they can't stop him from withdrawing his money, so he said, okay, fine. How will you have it? He said. Now, the $56 that you want back, how you want it? What? How will you have it? Oh, I caught his meaning and answered without even trying to think, in 50s. Now imagine he has deposited $56 and he's saying that he wants the amount in 50s. Now 50 and 6. So in 50s means what? He'll just get one note, no? In 50, like sometimes he's saying, give me change. For example, if you have deposited 500 rupees and you say you give me in hundreds. So if you say in hundreds, you'll get 5 notes, like 100, 100, 100 karke, you'll get 5 notes. So now he's just deposited $56 and he's saying he wants in 50s. Okay, fine. Now, oh, I caught his meaning. Okay, he gave me a $50 bill. So he gave him a $50. And the 6 he asked dryly. Now $6 is still remaining. So how do you want the 6? In sixes, I said. Now again 6 he wants in sixes. He gave it me and rushed out. Then what happened? He gave that 6. So that means $50 one note he got, and the $6 that he had, that also he took. As the big doors swung behind me, I caught the echo of a roar of laughter that went up to the ceiling of the bank. Since then, I bank no more. Now imagine the situation, like all the people in the bank are looking at Stephen Leacock because he had done such a strange thing that he just came to the bank. He wanted to meet the manager alone. The manager thought he's a detective, and then he came to know that he's just a common man and he just wants to open an account. And all this thing happened. And after opening an account, what did this person do? He withdrew all the money, whatever he had deposited. Okay. And now all the people in the bank are looking at this person like, what is wrong with him? Is he mad or something? So, but then what happened? As soon as he stepped out of the bank, he could hear literally everyone laughing at him. Like, he had become a laughing stock, like a joker in the bank. And everyone started laughing, and he could hear them laugh in the bank when he was out. I keep my money in cash. Okay. Since then, I bank no more. Now, see, this is a statement that the author has said. This was my first experience, which was a very bad experience. And in my life, I will never go to the bank. I will never bank. I will bank no more. I keep my money in cash in my trousers pocket and my savings in silver dollars in a socks. Now, see, this person, what decision he took with his first experience, that he will never deposit his money in the bank, and whatever money he will collect, he will keep it in his trousers pocket, and whatever the dollars that he has, he will the save in silver, he will keep it in the socks, but he will never keep the money in the bank. Why? Because he had a very bad experience. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed this chapter. Now let's move to the in-text questions. On page number 101, the first in-text question is, what makes a narrator nervous at a bank? Okay. Now the answer to this is the clerks, the wickets, the sight of the money rattles the writer. In short, everything in a bank makes the narrator nervous. Okay. Like now, these in-text questions are related to the chapter itself. So, what are the things on what the author gets nervous? Everything. Whenever he just stepped in the bank and looking at everything, he was nervous. Okay. So the next question is, what word should he have avoided in his request to see the manager? Now, by mistake, he said alone, because by mistake he said in his request to see the manager, writer should have avoided the word alone. Why he wants to meet the manager alone? He's come in the bank, he wants to open an account. So just go to the counter, ask them how to open an account, and do whatever the needful was. Okay. So this was the mistake that he made. He used the word alone. Now, next question is, why was the manager alarmed? Like, why was the manager surprised? The manager was alarmed because the writer told him that he wanted to meet him alone. He thought that the writer was an office secret to reveal. Means what he thought, that maybe he's some detective or he has some secret or he's come on some mission, and that's the reason he wants to meet the manager, and that's the reason he was surprised. He was alarmed. Okay. The next question is, who did he think was his visitor? Now, what does the manager think? Who this person may be? Why he wants to meet me alone? So maybe the manager thought that his visitor was one of Pinkerton's men. Pinkerton is a detective agency, and he thought that this person who has come and who wants to meet him alone is one of the person from the Pinkerton's men, from the detective agency. Okay, page number 102 now. The next question: what procedure did the author have to follow to open the account? To open the account, the writer had to meet the accountant, write the sum on a slip, and sign his name in a book. So this was a simple procedure. There was no need to take any tension. It was a simple procedure, and all the people in the bank were really very, very helping nature. And they told him, like, just write the sum in a slip and sign the name in the book. That was the simple procedure. Now, next question is, what error did the author make in the check? Did he correct it? Now, when he wanted to withdraw that amount, he made a big error. What was that? Instead of writing the amount as only $6, the writer made a very silly error of writing it as $56 in the check. And later, he did not even correct it. Now, okay, by mistake, you wrote, see, you are a human and you're prone to doing some mistakes. So if you make a mistake, you need to rectify it. You need to correct it, right? But here again, the author, he's stubborn. he didn't correct it. He didn't correct that, okay, sorry, I wrote 56 instead of 6. The matter would be solved then and there. But he added to that. Okay, he didn't show that he had made a mistake. So he made a mistake that he wrote $56 instead of $6. Next question is, why did the author pretend to appear like a bad-tempered man? Now, because he wanted to, show that he didn't want to show that he had made some mistake. So now he's trying to show that he's angry on the people over there. But to hide his foolish mistake, the narrator pretended that somebody had insulted him in the bank, and he attempted to look like a man with a fearfully bad temper. Okay, now he's doing acting over here. Actually, he was not angry, but he was just showing that he is angry. Why? Because he wanted to hide his mistake. Because he didn't want to show that he just wanted to write $6, and by mistake he has written $56. Okay. Now the next question is, on page number 103. What decision has the author taken after the episode at the bank? Now, all this thing happened, his first experience in the bank. Now, what the author has thought after this episode at the bank, the author decided to keep his money in cash in his trousers pocket and his savings in silver dollars in a socks. Means he has decided now that he will never go to the bank with this bad experience, and whatever money he wants to collect, he will keep in his trousers pocket, and whatever the dollars, the silver coins that will be there, he will keep it in a socks. A childish decision. Actually, it should not happen. Now, the next question is, the author's last decision wise? Now, what do you think? Like, see, okay, mistake happened, we are prone to mistakes, but the author, the decision that he took, okay, was it wise? So at least according to me, I don't think this was a wise decision. No, according to me, the author's last decision is not wise enough. This behavior of the writer simply shows that he is not confident in banking, which is absolutely fine. See, everyone is not an expert. Okay, there are so many things in our life where you cannot understand, and you won't be able to do that. Okay, see, like we say, everyone cannot be doctors and engineers and scientists. Okay, God has given different people different caliber, different qualities, and we are good in that. Okay, we are a really special human beings, and we have each own qualities. So we can't know everything in the world, but it's absolutely wrong if we do not improve on it. Yes, of course we can improve. See, whenever we make any mistake, you have to learn from the mistake. So he should learn the banking system properly and continue visiting the banks. He should have learned to overcome his fear of banks. So according to me, this was not the right decision that the author has taken. Okay. Now let's move to the English workshop. Open your textbook, page number 104. Find from the lesson the antonyms of the following. Okay, now here antonyms means opposites, as I explained here earlier also. Now the first word is afterwards, but now see here, from the lesson. Okay, the word they have mentioned is from the lesson. So that means you have to read the chapter, because the reading is done by me today. You need to read the chapter. Now I'm giving you all answers, but after the session, you see that you read the chapter, because reading will really improve your pronunciation and will help you find out the answers from the text. Okay. Now the first one is afterwards. So the antonym of afterward is beforehand. The second one is spending. So the antonym is earning. All these words are from the text. The C one is careful. The opposite is hesitating. D is withdraw. Opposite is deposit. Then E is confidently. The opposite is timidly. And cheerful. The opposite is sepulchral. Okay. Cheerful. Opposite is sepulchral. Now, question number 2. Fill in the blanks choosing the appropriate word idiom from the lesson. Again, here they have mentioned it should be from the lesson. Even in your exam paper, you get the passage and you need to find out the answer. So for this, you have to do proper reading of the passage. Okay. So now let's move to the second this. The dash solved the mysterious crime. The answer is the detective. The detective solved the mysterious crime. B, in the examination, I did not know the answer. So I became a hesitating joy. In the examination, I did not know the answer, so I became a hesitating joy. Next is C, he was dizzy and he shambled into the room. He was dizzy and he shambled into the room. Next is D1. While arguing with his elders, he had made a wretched attempt to look like a man with a fearfully quick temper. While arguing with his elders, he had made a wretched attempt to look like a man with a fearfully quick temper. Next, E1, the sight of a snake rattled him. The sight of a snake rattled him. Next, F1, as soon as I crossed the threshold of my home, I greet my family. As soon as I crossed the threshold of my home, I greet my family. Okay, so we are finished with the fill in the blanks. Now let's move to the next question, question number 3. Using the following points, frame a character sketch of the narrator. Support each character trait with instances from the lesson. Now here they have given different character sketches and you have to write the different character sketches of the narrator with proper support. Okay. So now the first one is diffident and timid. Like how do we come to know that the writer, the author is diffident and timid? Like he's shy. Okay. The writer's salary had been raised to $50 a month and the bank was the only safe place for it. But he got diffident and timid to speak to the staff in that bank. So by this we come to know that he is a diffident and a timid person. Now next is unusual behavior. When the narrator caught the sight of the accountant, his voice went sepulchral. He asked for the manager and added solemnly, alone. That was an unusual behavior of the writer. Okay, he became very nervous. He became sepulchral. His face was very gloomy, not cheerful. Okay, so this was the unusual behavior. Third one is ignorant about banking. How do we know that the author was ignorant about banking? The writer says the moment he crosses the threshold of a bank, he becomes a hesitating J and he has to transact business there. He becomes a irresponsible idiot. Now, in the chapter itself, author has mentioned that whenever he crosses the barrier, whenever he opens the door of the bank and he gets in, he becomes quite nervous. Okay, and he becomes an irresponsible person, and we come to know this when he also writes the amount on the check. Instead of writing $6, he writes $56. So we come to know that he is very ignorant and he is a very nervous person. Okay, and he even doesn't know to open an account he doesn't need to meet a manager but just fill in some forms in the bank and he can open a new account. The next is nervous and careless. He gets nervous on receiving the checkbook to enter the amount to be withdrawn. The writer goes careless when he enters $56 in the check instead of just 6. Okay, so again this shows that he is nervous and careless. Nervous is he is always whenever he meets somebody over there, the manager, the accountant, he doesn't know what to ask and he says anything that is not needful. And again, careless when the checkbook is given to him, instead of writing $6, he writes $56. So this shows his carelessness. Next is economical. The writer's attitude gets economical when he decides to keep his money in cash in his trousers pocket and his savings in silver dollars in a socks. Now, economical means like he wants to save some money. But just because he had a bad experience, what he decides to save, how does he save the money? He will keep it in his trousers pockets, and whatever chiller is there, whatever the coins he has, he will keep it in the socks. Means he wants to save, but then that is not the right method. See, now if he keeps the money in this manner, he won't get. Now when you deposit money in the bank, you get interest on the bank. You can, that money will increase. But if you keep that money in your house, it is not going to increase. Imagine if you keep some money in the bank, you will get interest on it, and that money little it will start increasing. But that same money, if you keep in your house in a box or something, it will remain the same. You won't get interest in the house. Okay, maybe there may be some day where somebody will remove the money from that box also. So be careful. If you have cash, if you want to deposit, if you want to increase the amount of your whatever small cash you have, open a bank account and deposit, and you can learn many new things. Okay, let's move on. The question number 4, rewrite the following in indirect speech. uh, Teachers must have already, your English teacher must have already taught you about indirect speech. Indirect speech is like, when you talk to a third person. Direct is when you are talking to the person face to face, and indirect is when you are talking to a third person, when you are explaining something to a third person, not directly. And we do not write the quotation marks whenever we change to indirect speech. Now, the first one is, can I see the manager? I said, certainly, said the accountant. I asked whether I could see the manager, and the accountant replied in the affirmative. Full stop. Okay. So here, no need to put in the quotation marks. Next one. Good morning, I said, and stepped into the safe. Come out, said the manager coldly. The manager ordered me coldly to go out. Okay, simple. Next, the word seemed to mean, let us do this painful thing while the fit is on us. The word seemed to mean that we should do that painful thing while the fit was on us. Full stop. Done. Okay. Now, next is D. What? Are you drawing it all out again? He asked in surprise. Yes, the whole thing, I said. He exclaimed in surprise and asked whether I was drawing it all out again. I replied in the affirmative that I would draw the whole thing. Full stop. Next, E. How will you have it? He said. In 50s, I said. He asked how I would have it, and I replied that I would have it in 50s. Full stop. Very simple. So here we have completed with the indirect speech. Okay, I hope you all have understood what I'm teaching right now. Now let's move to the next question. Read the statement, write your views first and counter view later in two separate passages. Online net banking is better than going personally to the bank for transactions. So this is a topic for you. See, you have in your 80 marks written paper, you have 5 marks allotted. You have 5 marks allotted to this question about views and counter views. So if you can really write well, you can select this to write. You can score 5 marks. At least maximum, if you write it in a really better way, at least 4 to 5 marks you can score. So views means the advantages and counter view is the disadvantages. Now the topic given to us is online net banking is better than going personally to the bank for transactions. So we have to give our views, and plus we have to give our counters. Anything in our life, there are positives and negatives also. So first let us think about the positive, the advantages. So how will you write? So what you can write is about the views. What are the good things happen when we go on for online bank? Online banking provides plenty of benefits. It is easier for customers to check their amounts, pay their bills, and move money from one account to the other. Okay, now see, nowadays we have got this very good experience now when we are in this lockdown period at home, where we couldn't move out of the house. Whatever we wanted to buy, directly online payment we were making, and we could get the thing that we wanted. Okay, so that was really very easier instead of going to the bank, going to the ATM, withdraw money, all that thing. it was really very convenient for us to do this online banking. There are many perks of online banking. You know, whenever we do some online payment, we get some bonus points, we get some amount, some cashback. Okay, so that is also there. There are many perks of online banking. With internet connection, banks are open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Okay, like if you want to go to the bank, you have to follow the timings. They have some specific timing, 9 to 3 or 9 to 2, and then after that you can't go to the bank. But now if you're doing online banking, what you can do is you can any like they are working 24. If you have an internet service with you, or you can bank 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and there is no need, even if there is a holiday, you can do your online bank. Updating and maintaining a direct account is also easier. Okay, if you want to update something, you want to make some changes, you can do it online. It takes minutes to change your mailing address, other additional checks, and other additional, and also look for current interest rates. Other advantage of online banking is mobility. Okay, easy, you can get easily the money, you can make the payment easily. Then online banking is now also includes mobile capabilities. New applications are now continually being created to expand and improve their capability on smartphones and other mobile devices. Like if you are using a smartphone, for you online banking becomes quite easy at your fingertips. Okay, it is not difficult at all. Next amazing feature of online banking is smooth transfers. Like if you want to transfer money somewhere, you can do it quickly if you're having internet service and if you're using a smartphone. Okay. Before, when this facility was not there, it would really it was a tedious job. You had to go to the bank, you need to transfer, and it would take days. And sometimes the motive, like for example, imagine that somebody is studying abroad and you want to transfer money, so it was really very difficult. But now, because of online banking, all these things have become really very easy. Next is, it helps to transfer the money immediately and accurately. Like no need to go to the bank, remove the cash, count the cash, then go to the place where you want to give the money. You're directly, now you can if you have the person's details, the account number, IFSC code, and all these things, you can transfer the money immediately and accurately. Online banking is less time consuming. Also, it is considered to be a safe and secure method, and you have permanent access to the bank. Okay, so it is really very easy. It is really saving, and also you can send the accurate money. No need, there won't be any mistake. Just fill in the correct amount, and you can transfer the money. So these were all the views, that is the advantages. Now let us see to the counter view. Now see, as you know, there are good and bad, that is the advantages and disadvantages. So now what are the disadvantages? One disadvantage of internet banking relates to withdrawing money. While most business accept debit and credit cards, people still like to have cash on them too. There are still people who like to keep cash with them. They don't understand this online transactions and all. Hence, you can't withdraw cash over the internet. So you still have to visit your bank's physical location, or pay service fees by withdrawing money at an ATM that's not associated with your bank. Now, one disadvantage is, like for example, you have a bank account in State Bank of India, and if you don't have a ATM of State Bank of India nearby, if you go to a different some other bank's ATM, they will charge you some fees for that. Okay, so you have to spend a little money for withdrawing. Next is another disadvantage of online banking is the customer service. Okay, many of us have an experience. When we dial the number for the customer service, there are a lot of things like press number 1 for English, press number 2 for so and so. For this service, press number 5. All these things are there to talk to a customer service agent, executive, dial number 9. So it is really very hectic, and you have to keep on and on. You have to be on the phone to get to an executive. So that is again very a tedious thing. And although online banks have implemented chatting features and offer customer service numbers for those with question and inquiries, it still doesn't compare to the to the customer service. received by banking at a physical bank location. Like, it is that different. Like talking to the customer service executive on the phone and actually going to the bank and talking to the person. Like you get that feeling of personally talking is much better than talking on the phone. Next drawback of internet banking could be that most banks make sure that the websites are secure, but no bank website is immune from cybercrime and hacking. Okay, this is really very a dangerous thing, because cybercrime is really happening nowadays, and for keeping our money safe, it is quite hectic. So as you know, that you should not share your password, you should not share your PIN numbers to anyone. Okay, so you have to be careful in this case. Hackers target banks' website to swipe up account information. These hackers, they get all the information, and other pitfalls of online banking include difficulty in getting on the internet at certain times of the day. Now, sometimes what happens, now see, we are all online, and you know that uh, sometimes there are some glitches going on, and we don't get to open the account. Okay. Weekday evenings are the most popular. Then internet connection is required for net banking. If bank server is down or internet speed is slow, then online transaction is not possible. One must know the basics of computers and internet in order to use internet banking. Now, if somebody is not aware about the basics of computer, they don't know how to operate. Now, there are people who use smartphone, but they don't know all the features of how to use it. Okay. So for this, you should know all the features, how to use it, all the facilities that are there. So again, people who are illiterate, they will find some difficulty in operating this. The next is further, your account can be misused if your password and your PIN ID comes in the hands of an unauthorized person. So this is here you have to be quite alert. Don't share your passwords. Don't share your ID. Don't give your cards, your ATM card or your debit credit card in some wrong hands. Why? Because that will be the end for your money. All your money in a second can be transferred to somebody else's account. Okay, so please be careful while you're dealing online. Okay, so these were the drawbacks. So we are done for the day. Thank you very much. I hope you understood the lesson, and if you have any doubts, you are free to ask me your doubts.